Sorry, yes, screen is visible, of course. Okay, so welcome everyone to the class. So far we have covered 5 classes. We have covered about basic SQL queries. We, yesterday we did about order of execution. Sorry, yesterday we did aggregation and we did case when statement, right? So today, any doubt, anyone, like those who have completed the lectures, anyone who is not able to, who has any doubt from previous classes, anyone? Of course, I'm not taking doubt right now. Just want to know, like, have you understood everything, or how is it going?
Still finding it difficult in using group by.
What is the difficulty that you are facing?
Actually, how which column should I use as a group by in group by statement? Like if we select that, and which column should I make group by?
So maybe after today's class, you'll be able to understand it more. So let's see that thing will come with practice, but there are few concepts I need to teach. Once you understand those concepts, you will be able to understand it. Okay, but still you can ask, like in doubt session, you can ask it, or maybe whenever we are having breaks in between classes, you can ask. Okay, so let's begin today's class. So today we are going to study a next topic, that is order of execution in SQL. So first of all, you have the drive. Please go to the drive that is there. I shared, right? The class 6 is uploaded there. Please download the files from there. So just go to the drive, and class 6 will be uploaded. Class 6 for class 5 there is no file, because yesterday we just did on SQL only. So just go to this class 6 and you will find, sorry, class 5. Okay, it is class 6 actually. I will change the name, but go to this order of execution. So this is class 6 actually, and there are 3 files. One is a PDF, one is a data file, one is PPT, the that I'm going to present in today's session, because there are some questions as well which will solve in live class, and then there is an Excel. So please download them. Everyone has access to the drive, right? You guys can check the WhatsApp group. The link is there. So please save that link, because whatever uploads are there, I will constantly upload on that link only, so that you can directly download it, so that you don't have to ask me again and again. So everything, whatever I teach, whatever material is there, everything will be uploaded there only. Okay, so let us start today's session. First of all, before I begin anything, let's do one thing. Let me ask you a question. Okay, so if I go to this schemas tables, okay, so let's say my screen is visible, right? Do I need to increase the font size, or it is good?
It's good.
Okay, so suppose we have this table. Let me just ask you a question. Select star from members. Okay, members does not exist. Orders. Select star from orders. Maybe I need to restart my Postgres. Just give me a second. Okay, select star from, let's say, players. Okay, so let's say we have this particular data, right? So we have, like, we saw this data when we were discussing in the previous classes. Now suppose, let's say, write down a SQL query that select player underscore name, comma team, comma season from the table name is players, where runs is greater than 500, let's say 800. Tell me this, will this SQL query execute or not? Before I execute this, tell me, will this SQL query execute or not?
Yes. Yeah,
Why will it execute and why? Because I'm not keeping runs here. Remember, I'm only selecting player name and team name and season. I'm selecting only 3 variables.
Yeah.
So why will it filter?
It will filter for which is greater than 800.
No, but why will it filter? But I'm selecting only 3 variables.
Yeah, because the runs column exists, right? I mean, in the table. That is why. I mean, it doesn't. I mean, I don't think it will require the explicit column name. I mean, I'm not
Okay.
sure.
So
We
if
have
you say this
customized
logic, if you say
we
this
have
logic,
customized.
let me do this. Select player. Let's say select team, comma sum of runs as total underscore runs from players where total runs is greater than, let's say, 1000. Will this query run now or not?
No.
No, it won't.
Why?
Because we haven't used group by with the sum aggregation.
Okay, let's use group by. Okay, let's use from where this group by team. Will this
Because
query run or
again,
not?
no,
No,
it will not run. Order
no,
of
it will not
execution.
run
Why?
because the total runs is
Table
not in
name,
the table column.
column name doesn't exist.
Which column? I have created this column.
It will
No, but
run.
it should be present
Yeah,
in the
but
table.
again, order of execution matters here. Like from one, then it goes to the where class, then the group by, then the select. Like it will not be able to fetch what is the total run for the where
I
class.
think it run.
Because having clause should be
Do
used.
one thing. Do one thing. First of all, everyone type in chat box. Will this query run or not? Yes or no. Everyone
No.
just write yes or no.
No.
In the chat box, please write it. Will this query run out? Because total runs I have created, and I'm just putting a filter on that. Will this query run or not? What do you think? So it's a mixed response. Few people are saying yes, few people are saying no. Okay. Uh, those who are saying it will not run, can they tell me can you tell me a reason?
Because the total runs is not present in the original table, so it won't
But I've
compare.
created it, right?
You have created, but the
But
total run.
for example, let's say I do this. Okay. Uh, uh, let's say I remove this. I run this. Okay. This total runs is created. So why will it not filter?
Because I believe that like after group by we should
But
use the
this
having
is
clause.
No,
Having
this
clause filter the runs and not the where clause.
Can you
but this
repeat?
is created after you run it, right? Now it is created. So now you can use over this table.
Okay.
Like now if you'll take it as a table and use total run, then it can take, but
So let's understand this concept in detail now. So this is the called order of execution. This query will not run. This is an error actually. Okay. Those who said yes, it will not run. But what is the reason? Like we talk about, you must have heard. So rather than using this, we have to actually do
Having
having, let's say, so we will have to use sum of,
Alias one.
so we will have to use this way. Alias also won't work here. So so basically there is some confusion in the sense that, like, as few people said yes, few people said no, even those who said few knew the reason, few don't know the reason. This is a very, 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 very important concept when it comes to writing SQL queries, when it comes to in interviews, right? That where, what to select and have, what to not select and where, like those kind of questions are always something which you need to discuss. Because a lot of you said, for example, I was doing select. So for example, select a star from players. Okay, now when I do, for example, select player name from players where run is greater than 9, let's say 800, this query will run even though I have not taken down this particular runs in this select statement. Still it is running, it is putting the filter. So what is the reason behind it? Okay, so there what matters is called the concept called order of execution, and that is what we are going to study now and understand in detail conceptually that how it works. And then you will be able to write. You don't need to mug up. For example, for a lot of people mug up just, okay, for where I will use this, for group by I will do this. No, we don't need to mug up anything. We just need to understand the logic, how a SQL query runs and how each thing happens. Okay, so first of all, I will explain you using Excel in detail as I do. But first of all, let us try to see. Now, whenever you write a SQL query, right? So what is the writing order looks like this. Okay, you do select, then you do from, then you do where, then you do group by having. I haven't taught this yet, so you can skip for now. Okay, order by limit offset. This is what we read, how you write a SQL query. Okay, but it is not how it is executed in the engine, in the SQL engine. How does SQL, you just wrote a query, but how does SQL takes it? Okay, it takes in this particular order, and we need to study this in detail, that what does this mean, like from where, how to interpret this meaning, and how to write efficient SQL queries based on this. So that is what we are going to study first of all. So let's understand, whatever query you're writing, forget it. Let's simply focus on execution order. Okay, execution order means how your SQL server is going to take your query and it is going to interpret it and how it is going to run on the database. So the first step that any SQL query does is the from clause. So the database, whatever query you're running, it identifies the source table for the query. Okay, now this, although we have not covered joins, but this includes join as well. So the first type of any how a SQL query runs is that it will scan for the table wherever you have that table present. So let's go to this. For example, let's say I have this particular data. So let's say I just take a sample data from here. Okay. So how SQL is going to work is, it is, suppose this is your data. Okay, it is not going to do any kind of filtering or anything. The first job is to locate the data where it is present. Okay, now after joining everything, whatever it does, it sees the whole data as at once. Okay, this is the first step, remember this. Okay, so it will take your query. First of all, it will locate that, okay, we have this data from. So at this point, when you, so this is the step one. So I'll parallelly write down that what is the scenario right now. So let's say scenario one, which is, so right now you have full access to the table. Agreed? So once you write a query, how does it run? You have the full access to hold the table. So if you at this point of time, so like for a lot of people think that, okay, when I write down select A comma B comma C, right? So it does not filter straight away. It does not filter the 3 columns straight away. For example, let us say you are writing this query that select A comma B comma C from whatever table name is, from let's say table name is this. So it will not initially filter. It will not initially filter only 3 columns. First of all, it will access the whole table. Any doubt, anyone till this point? So let's move to the next point now. Okay. Once it has, once your, for example, it has got the whole database. So what does it do? Database identifies the source table, produces an initial data set that includes all the columns and rows from the specified tables or joins. This is very important, as I mentioned. All good? After that, what it is going to do, it is going to filter the rows. So right now it has access to all the variables which are present in the data set. So it will filter the rows from the data set generated in the from clause. So whatever where condition that you write, it applies to the whole database. Okay. So that is the reason where, so if someone asks you the question that I was asking to you, that when I just run a query like this, so in SQL, when I just run a query like this, select A comma B comma C from table where D is greater than 20. So will this query work? Yes or no?
Yes.
Why will this work? What is the reason? You should have the reason. A lot of people said yes, no, that is okay, fine. I want you to know the reason. The reason is that when you run this statement, first of all, it will access the whole table and it will put a filter there, because now it has access to all the table. Let's say the whole table has all the columns A, B, C, D, E, F, right? So it has access to D, and that's why whenever it puts a filter D, it is able to generate the result. All good till now? Any doubt, anyone?
No, sir.
Okay, so this is the first part, that first you run the from clause, then you run the where clause. After that, so for example, let us say what will be happening. Let's say this was my Excel. Okay, so I have 24 rows. What will happen? Let's say some rows get filtered out. So what will happen? Let's say I filter after running up in the step 2. After step 2, what will I have? I have the filtered rows. Agreed? Filtered rows. Is it clear? So here we just ran from, and at step 1 it was from, and then we have access to filter. So suppose we filtered out these many rows, let's say. So let me remove these rows. Okay, so after this we have filtered out all the rows, whatever where condition you mentioned, let's say it filtered out these rows. All good? Anyone, any doubt? Now let's move to the next step. The next step is, what happens next is grouping happens. So it groups the filtered rows into buckets based on one or more columns. So whatever group by clause you write, it will group first. Remember, it will not aggregate at till this point. It will just group first. Okay. The main thing is that when you write down group by, no aggregations are performed yet, but rows are organized. Okay. So what happens when you write down a group by statement? Suppose you write down a group by statement, and so for example, there are countries. Okay. So first of all, let me just sort this data. Sort. Let's sort it based on country. A2, C. So what will happen? Suppose, let's just say in my question I'm grouping by country. So what will happen at this stage when you write on a group by, you will, all your group like data will be restructured, and all your similar groups will start appearing together. Is it fine? So for step 3 is reorder rows. Okay, when you write down a group by, what happens? You reorder the rows from there. Okay, so this is the group by which you are writing. Here you're writing where, here you're writing from. Okay. Now what will happen after this? After this, what is going to happen? Whenever you do group by, you basically aggregate. So technically a new, now suppose you say till now the primary key is remained same. Primary key has not changed yet. Remember this thing. Okay. Now primary key will change when you say I want sum of, for example, revenue last month across this. So what will happen? The next step will be after this. So all the groupings will be created. Suppose Canada, India, USA, and other like whatever countries are there. So all those things will be created here. And corresponding, let's say you are asking total sum, for example, you are saying I want sum of revenue. So sum of revenue will happen, and whatever numbers are there, they will simply come in here. For example, let's say 2000, 3000, 4000. Okay. All good till this point? So first, after you filter out, you group by. In group by, this table is not created in group by command. Remember this. This table after group by command, it's just that your data is sorted like this. Okay. Now, if you are using an aggregate function, then it will aggregate. Okay. So now once you have put a condition, now for example, now let me ask you this question. If I ask you, tell me, for example, yeah, okay. So before I move it, any doubt on this particular point, anyone? So the step one, we select do from. Okay. The step one was we select hold that. Remember, this is very important. Don't just pass it, because it will help you in writing efficient SQL queries. So from, then where will execute. First of all the table will be gathered. Then the rows will be filtered. After rows are filtered, they will be stacked together. They will be reordered so that similar group appear together. Okay. After that, whenever, for example, you are, let's say you are applying any condition that I want to sum, I want to take average, that thing will happen. And after that, your having clause will come. So if you want to put a filter on a variable call, let's say, which just like we did sum of runs, right? That will not come during where clause. Why? Because during the where clause, when we were writing, is there any sum of revenue created here? Tell me this. When I write down this particular query, let's say select player name under comma, let's say sum of runs as runs from players. Okay. From players where this sum of runs is greater than 500. So tell me this, will this query execute? Tell me with reason now. If why it will not execute? Comment in the chat box.
Because aggregation doesn't happen at where.
The reason is that when you write down at the level, so reason is that at what point does where work? Where works after you have taken the full table which is originally given. This is the full table which is originally given. Is there any variable called as sum of runs, sum of revenue, whatever? Is it there any variable like that? So sum of variable is not created yet. When you run any where command, it runs directly after it directly runs on the full table. Okay. At that point of stage, your aggregation variables are not even created.
So I have a doubt. So you're telling that where condition will only run after you take a full table, which means that if we do it like select all from players,
Yes.
and then use a where condition, so that's an appropriate match, right?
Yes, that's an appropriate match. So Remember?
But in the first part which you gave, right, that is confusing. Just you showed, right, select A, B, C from the table where D is greater than
Select
20
A, B, comma C from table
from table
where D is
where,
greater than 500, let's say. Okay.
yeah.
Now let's say the table contains 5 columns: A, B, C, D, E, F. Okay. As per the order of execution, what happens? First, from works, right? When from works, it takes the whole table. In the whole table, all these 5 columns are present. Is it right?
Yeah.
So when you apply where can put a filter on this, because these columns are present in the table.
Right, but then we are saying sum of runs, but runs column is already there now in that
Runs
table.
is there, sum of runs is not there.
Yeah, but no, I'm not getting, sir, actually.
Okay, let's do this. Let's do this way. I'll use a very small example rather than this. Give me a minute. Let me create a small table. Okay. Okay, so let's say there is a player, there is player A, there is player B, there is player C, there is player D, E, F, G, or let's call it simply 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, let's say there are 7 players. Right now there are only 3 columns in the table, or let's add another column so that it is easy to understand. Let's call this column, which is called as country. Okay. Now let's say team, for example, for team we can say, let's say this is so let's say there are 3 teams present here. Okay, and let's call the players run, for example, let's say 200, 300, 400, 100, 200, 500, and 800. And let's say the country, so let's say the country is India, let's say Australia, okay, and let's call it. So let's say these are the countries. Okay, now suppose we write down a query. Okay, I'm writing down a query here. Let's say write down a query: select player, comma, team from runs, from, let's say, table name, from table where country equal to India. Okay, now when I'm running this query, what is happening? What is the first step that will happen? First of all, which part of SQL query will run?
Select.
table.
Whole table will be
No,
loaded.
select will not work. That's what I'm telling you. Select will not work. Select is a that is just to confuse you. Select work towards the end.
Okay.
From will access the whole table
The
once.
first command that will run is from, and it will access the whole table. Okay, you will have access to whole table first of all. So at this point of time, if you say, remember, select comes towards the end, so don't get confused. So that is the key catch here, that select does not work at start. If I show you, if I come here, let me show you, select works towards the end. You see, select comes after having, before order by. So after everything is executed, then only select works. Now let's come here. So when we say select player, comma, team from table where country equal to India, So what will be the first step that is happening? First step will be, it will access the whole table. Does not matter whichever query you are writing. The first step will be to take the whole table. Is everyone with me till this point?
Yeah.
Okay. Now when I put a filter where country equal to India, irrespective of whatever I have put in select, will it execute or not?
Yes.
Why? Tell me the reason.
Because we have filtered, right, in the where clause that we want the country as India.
Yes, but at this point of time, is country present in the table or not?
Yes, it is present because the
It is
whole table
present,
is
right?
loaded.
Because we have only done one step. We have just taken the whole table and directly we are putting the filter. So the first step that happens in a SQL query is it filters on the whole data. So whatever columns are present, they get filtered. This is the first part. Now let's understand the sum part, which I was telling you. When I write down select, let's say team, select team, comma, sum of runs as total runs from let's say table, group by team. Okay, and wait a second. Yes, when I run this particular query and I put where by here, for example, from this let's say from table where we can say where total underscore runs, or whatever we created, total runs is greater than 500. Okay, so now think like this, where total underscore runs. Now what I'm doing, I'm selecting, so let me write down like this so that it's easy. So I'm selecting player, I'm selecting team first of all, right? Then I'm selecting sum of runs for the whole team. So team, then sum of whole team. I got team, then I will say sum of runs. Okay. Then I have a from, what is my table. Now I'm asking if I put a query where this total runs is greater than 600. Okay. This sum of runs I have stored as total runs. Let's say total. This is the confusion everyone is having, right? Now tell me this, when I created this this particular part, sum of runs as total, at this particular time, when I'm putting where condition, where total is greater than 600, on which part does the where work? Tell me this.
No, there is no column such as table or total.
That's what I'm saying, that you cannot, the aggregation that you have created, you cannot put it in where.
Okay.
And the reason is that where works before aggregation. Okay. So even before you have aggregated any column, okay, where works. So where works on the whole. So whatever filtering you need to do, it happens at where and it works on the whole table. So I cannot put a condition where sum or total should be greater than 600, because at this particular time, this variable total is not present in my table. Is it clear, everyone?
Yeah.
Okay. So what will happen? So this where will not work. So what will happen? You will write down group by. Now what will happen when you write group by? Tell me. When you write, although suppose I'm sorting by team. So what will happen when you group by? This data will be sorted and it will become, so let's be sorted based on team. Okay. It will get sorted based on team. So rows with same team will come together, will stack together. Rows with same team will stack together. They will stack together. All good. Group by is on team. So group by is on team. Okay. When I write down this, what will happen? This team will come together, this will come together, this will come together. Okay. Now, what is my next? So what will happen? Because I've written this sum command, right? A new table will be created, which we discussed yesterday, using a new primary key, that is CSK, MI, RCB. Okay. And I will have a total sum. For example, this is 600. Okay. For this, it will be 700. And for this will be 1200. Is it clear? Once I run this command, this table will be created. Any doubt, anyone? Guys, it is going above ahead, or it's pretty easy to understand. Let me know. I'm not.
We have understood. I have understood basically.
You understood, right? Now, suppose I have to put a filter that I want only those countries, those teams whose total run is greater than let's say 700, or greater than equal to 700. So, as I mentioned, I cannot put that in where condition. So, where do I need to put it in? We need to put it in having. Because at this stage, the table, you only have access to these two columns. Okay. So suppose at this stage, if I run a condition where so you will mention having, let's say, sum of runs greater than equal to 650, or whatever you are putting. Is it clear? Having works on the, once you have grouped, you can only work on these two variables. So whatever filter you can apply only these two filters. Okay. Now tell me this, can I put the filter of country in having?
No.
So let's try that. Okay, let's go. So this is my table. Let's say select star from players. Okay, this is the table I was having. So let's do one thing. I will simply do select, let's say, team, comma, sum of runs from players. Okay. And now if I write where, let's say, sum of runs as total, where total greater than 1000, will this work or not? Will this work?
No.
And what is the reason?
Because still right now
Because at the where level, this variable total is not even created.
Yeah.
Do you get it? Okay. Now, so how do I get it? What I will need to do, first of all, because this is an aggregate question, I need to group by. I will say group by team. Okay. And then I need to mention, once I have grouped by, what has happened? All the closed columns have stacked together. And when I do having sum of runs is greater than, let's say, 1000. You will get this. Is it clear, everyone? Remember, this total will also not work. If you think you just write down total, this will also not work, because alias is created towards the end. After every filter has been done, then only alias is created. Okay, so you need to take this sum of runs only. You cannot put alias name here. Having sum of runs greater than, let's say, 1200.
So as total could be removed as well, right?
As total, you can remove it. See, it is created. If you see, if you run the table, the column is created with total name. So once you run the query, you will see it. But if you try to filter it here, it will not filter.
Okay.
Are you getting? So you have to keep it, because if you just remove it, then what will it will come as some sum. You don't want it to be named as sum, you want it to be as total runs. So the name you will be able to see, but you will not be able to filter based on the name, because this name is created after the filtering is done.
So, sir, I have a question. So, for the if we have any of the question which is like an aggregation question, like sum or count or average, then whatever filter is there on that particular column of aggregation, we should always use having, right, and not the
You should
regular.
always use having. So remember, having is used only for filtering aggregate variables, not your variables which are already present. Okay, you can do that. For example, let us say I can do. So let's understand this point. While I am at this particular step, which is the table which I have access to? Do I have access to this particular table, or I have access to this particular table? When I have created the group by some commands, what is the table that I have access to? This one or this one?
Second one.
Second table.
After this query, I don't have access to this table. I will have access to this table. Okay, so whatever filter you apply will apply to this table, not on this table. And if you try to put in some filter, it will not, which is present in this, it is not present on this, it will not work.
So basically, where filter doesn't have any role in aggregation
Where
queries,
has
right?
no role in aggregation. Where is just used initially. So think like that. Suppose I give you a task, right, that you have to aggregate everything. First of all, you will collect everything, you will filter out whatever. Okay, pehle sab kuch filter kar do, you will remove everything. You will take the table and then you will filter it. Okay, so that's what I'm trying to say. When you run a query, first of all, you get access to whole table, then you put a where filter where you filter out the rows, then you group by, and then you do the aggregation.
So it means we are using a group having clause for aggregate functions, and where we are using for condition columns.
See, for example, in this particular, say I have taken team. So let me show you. Once you're running this particular, let's say in this query, which is the table that you have access to, this particular table, right?
Yes.
So you can put two filters. Either you can put some of this, or you can put a filter where having team is equal to, let's say, RCB. This will also work. What is the reason that it is working? Because once you run this query, okay, you have the once you run these two this command, group by team. Suppose you run this, let's say up to this particular point, what is the table that you are having? You're having this table. Okay, see, well, when you have created group by, you have just stacked the tables together, you have not aggregated anything. Okay, now when you do a filter on this, you can put a filter on team, you can put a filter on total runs, but you cannot put a filter on something that is not present here. So in having, you can either take a filter on the aggregate variable that you have created, or the categorical variable that you have kept in the clause. Didn't get
Okay,
it?
I am understanding that the having clause is used to apply a filter on the result of group by based
Yes.
on the specific condition.
Yes. So basically, so that's way you have corrected, summed it right way. When you apply where filter, okay, let's say you say where runs is greater than 600, for example. Okay, where applies on the result of this from. Okay, at the point of from, you have access to all the variables in the table. Agreed? Once you apply having works on the table which is created by group after group by. After group by, this table is created. Okay. So on this table, which all two variables you are having? You are having team and you are having total runs. So you can put a filter either on total runs or you can put a filter on team. But suppose, for example, in my table, select star from players. Okay. So let's say I do this. Let's say there was another column, season. If I do having season equal to 2016, will this work or not?
No, it will not work.
No.
Why will
Because
it not work?
because season column is not present in the aggregation that we have chosen.
Because season column is not present in this group by table. Okay, it is not present, having filters on this result. Is it clear?
So having only filter is a group by statement,
So
right?
in having we can use sum runs and total runs both, right?
You can use total runs.
And sum
Total
of
run
runs.
is sum runs only, right?
So we can use that total runs now, because
No, we cannot use total runs name. We cannot use this name. Why? Because this name is created after the table is executed.
okay.
Okay. So let's say run this. It will give me an error. Player season must appear in the group by clause or be used in the aggregate function. Okay. So whatever filter you are putting in having, it should be present in the select commands. Is it clear? Guys, yes, no, or it is confusing?
Yes, clear. Yeah.
Okay, this is very important. You need to think logically, right? That so there are two tables created whenever you run a SQL query. One table is created before you do aggregation, and one table is created after aggregation. Once you have aggregated using group by, you work on a different table. Okay, and till this point you work on a different table.
So aggregation is happening in having clause after grouping.
Aggregation is having in the having clause, yes.
Okay.
So after grouping, aggregation will happen, and after that having will work. Okay. So first, what will happen? Whenever you write a query, first of all, it will group by. What will happen in group by? Stack all the similar rows together. Okay. This will happen in group by. Is it clear?
Yes.
Read this. No aggregations are performed yet, but rows are organized when you run a group by clause. Having must be followed. Having should be followed only if there is a filter. If there is no filter, having is not required. Okay.
And
So-
also, sir, vice versa, you cannot use a group by on just a normal columns, right? There should be some kind of an aggregation.
No, you can use group by on team. Team is not an aggregate column. Team is the normal variable name.
And I'm saying that there is another column which is sum, right? So I'm telling if you're taking 3 of the columns which don't have any of the aggregation applied to that column, so we can't use group by, right? For example, team, and forget about sum of runs. If you're not summing up, if you're not using an aggregate function, if you're just taking 3 normal columns on which there is no aggregation applied.
Yeah,
And-
that will not come in group by. Yes.
Yes. Yeah. Thank you.
Okay. So first of all, you will stack everything together, and when you do having, okay, or after group by, your aggregation happens. Okay. Aggregation happens. After aggregation, your having works. That's how things work. Is it clear? Aggregate across columns. Okay. And having filter on the aggregated table. So think like this. whenever you run a SQL query, there are two tables. First table which worked before till up to where only. Okay, in that you are filtering on the main table. In the main table, you have access to all the columns. So you can put anything which is present in the main column as where in the where. But once you do where, once you do group by, okay, or once you do aggregate, okay, after that you have this variable and the aggregation that you have created. So you only have categorical variables and the aggregate columns that you have created. So you cannot put a filter on that column which is not present in the select statement. How but aggregate is given in the select statement? Aggregate is working before select. Aggregate is not working after select. So group by not used without aggregation. Yeah, so that is the point. Whenever you use aggregation, right, group by is mandatory there. You cannot use an aggregate functions without a group by. If you do, it will give you an error. Unless, for example, yeah, you can do simple. Suppose you're not giving a categorical variable. Suppose you just want select sum of runs. Okay, select sum of runs from players. Okay, this will work. Here you don't need a group by. Why? Because here you're not getting any categorical variable. So you here it will give you the sum. Here you don't need, because it is taking the sum of all the column names. But the moment you introduce any group by column, for example, let's say you bring team. Okay, at this moment you need to introduce a group by. Questions, please. Please, guys, clear this. This is very important.
Can we group by some third variable like country? But
You
it
can
is not
group by
present in the
only
select
those
statement.
variables which are present in your select statement. So, for example, let us say I want select team. Okay, I want let's say I want season. Across each season I want team, and then I want sum of runs from players. Here group by will come. Here you need to group by season as well and team as well. So remember yesterday's class, we need to mention both the variables, group season, or like you can mention 1, 2, or you need to put both of these here. Okay, this you can do. So you can add as many group by as possible. That's up to you if it is present in the data. But suppose I want to filter where I want to filter for example those where sum is suppose greater than 500. So I cannot do a where here, or I cannot do a where runs greater than 500. What is the reason? The reason is that this variable where total is greater than, I cannot do this part. The reason is that at the time of executing where clause, this total is not created. Okay, so when you have to filter down aggregate functions, you need to use having. Okay, now having works on this table which is created after group by. In the group by you have three columns: season, team, and sum of runs. So you can put a filter either on season or team or this. You cannot put filter on any other variable. So I can do a filter like having season equal to, let's say, 2016. This query will work. Okay, I can do a filter where season equal, or I can do where team is equal to RCB. This will work. But let's say there was another column which was present. Let's say I do, for example, wickets. Okay, I cannot do having wickets equal to or greater than 10. I cannot do this. What is the reason for this?
Because it will not know.
Not part of the select statement.
What is the reason for this?
Having clause only filters the group by
Having clause
including
only
Where can't only filter the
because
column.
the thing which are present in the group after
Yeah.
executing the group by statement. After executing the group by statement, I only have these three variables. So I can either put this, or this, and nothing else. And after everything is created, select statement comes. So that comes in the end. Is it clear, guys?
Can we select like 3 columns like season, team, or some other column, and in group by we can use 2 columns? Like
No, you cannot do that.
अगर हम
The number
दो
of
column
columns.
select में
Suppose I
ले
have
रहे हैं,
selected let's say I've selected 2 columns here.
Hmm.
And in the group by I cannot provide only one.
Okay.
It will give me an error. Remember the number of
it has to be
categorical.
like exactly same जो आप
Yes.
select में ले रहे हो वही column आपका group by
Exact
रहेगा.
same only. So there are two. Whenever you write down a aggregate function, aggregate query, there are two types of variables. One are categorical variables, the variables across which you are grouping, across which you are grouping. Okay. And other are the aggregation variables. Aggregation. These are actual aggregation that you are doing. So all of this variable, all of them should come in group by. You cannot skip any. If you're putting anything in categorical, if you're putting any variable here which is there, it needs to come in group by. Is it clear, guys? Any doubt? सब कुछ ऊपर से गया है कि मतलब क्लियर है, मतलब
No, sir. Yeah, clear.
Clear.
you should. So if I ask you, do one thing. Everyone write down in chat box a question. What is the difference between having and where clause? Don't look at anyone else answer, otherwise you'll be cheating with yourself. Okay. When to use what? Write down the answer to this in the chat box. Please don't copy from anyone's answer if you really want to learn. If you have not understood, I will explain. But please write your honest answers. Okay. Write a detailed answer. Just like properly tell that, okay, where will not be, because whenever we run a SQL query, there are two tables. One is the original table and second is the group table. The where clause works on your main initial table. Okay. Like this, explain everything in the chat box. Think and write everything. Don't copy anyone's answer, please.
Satvik, am I audible? Yeah. Actually, I'm not able to see the screen.
Is my screen not visible?
I'm not sure if I'm only facing this issue, like if anyone else also facing the same issue.
No, everyone is able to see. Can you try to like log in again, like join again? Everyone is able to see.
Okay.
See, this statement, Shoaib, is incorrect. Where clause is used to filter non-aggregate clause values. Can someone tell me if it is correct or not? And can someone tell me the reason for this? So this is a statement written by Shoaib that where clause is used to filter non-aggregated values. Is this statement correct or incorrect?
Yes, sir, it is correct.
Is it okay? Is this statement correct or incorrect, guys? Tell me. I want to know.
which means like I don't know like what he actually means by that, but he's like actually telling me there is no use of aggregation that time, only where is used. Is this what he means, or is just like even though aggregation is used, you can't use on that aggregation column and just another column?
He's saying that in a table, where clause is used only to filter non-aggregate values.
So, but I think where clause can be used in both the conditions, like aggregated and non-aggregated values.
How can you use where in the aggregated values?
Oh, where is
No,
just for only
no.
conditions, no? Just filtering on whole table. It doesn't mean to be like aggregation and non-aggregation. It's just condition.
Yes.
What is the meaning of aggregate columns? Aggregate is when you take sum, take average of columns in your table.
Count, sum, main, max, whatever that aggregation that we are taking up.
Yeah, so the moment you take aggregation, so tell me, like, first let's have the answers. Okay, so I've got the answers. Yes, so the answer to this question is that, first of all, the difference between having and where is that where clause works on the original table that is given in the question. Okay, the from statement, after the from you have access to, please listen it carefully. Where clause, so let me just go here. So let's say this is the original table that is given to you. Okay, so what happens when you run a select star from this where clause works on the whole table that is given. Okay, like it could be a single table, it could be a created after joining, right? After a whole operation, whatever the result table comes, that is your master table, you can say the original table. Where clause works on this and it will apply filter to everything, whereas having does not work on this table. This is the reason you cannot put everything in having. After you group by and aggregate, a new table is created. Okay, after you group by, a new table is created and your having works on this table. Okay, now question comes, whenever you can put, there is no condition that having after having you need to filter only aggregated column. So it could apply to a non-aggregated column as well. As long as that column is present in the new table, you can put a filter. Is it clear? Any doubt, anyone? Shall I repeat?
Yeah.
So please listen it carefully. Try to map with your answer. Whatever you have written, try to map with your answer and correct your answers. Okay. Whenever we run a SQL query, select star from this where. So at the first point of execution is from where you access the whole table. Okay, and where clause works on this particular table, which is the first table, the whole table that you have created. Okay, so here you can put all the filter, and no aggregation column is created yet. This is just the original table. Okay, you have not aggregated anything yet. Okay, so you only filter on the variables which are originally present in the table. You do not filter on the aggregate columns in where clause. The reason is that the aggregate columns are not even created at the time of execution of where. Okay, aggregation works after where clause. So once you have created this particular thing, next you group by. So what will happen? You will do group by and then you will aggregate. After you aggregate, your new aggregation table will be created, which is the second table. Now having works on this new aggregated table. So where works on the original table, having works on the new created table. Okay, so whatever columns you put in this aggregated table can be filtered using having. Is it clear, everyone?
Yeah.
Anyone, any doubt? Shall we move to questions now? Okay, once this whole aggregation having clause is done, after that your select statement works. Okay, select order by, they are executed in the last, at the end. Okay, so select, whatever you write in the select command, it has already been executed. It is just like we use print statement, for example, in Python or some other language. Select is just like a print statement. You're just printing whatever you want to print. You might have access to 50 variables, but you are only printing 5 or 10 variables. Okay, so select is whatever you write after select is already executed. You're just printing them. Okay, after that, order by and offset or limit comes. Okay, is it clear? This is the order of execution of a SQL query. All good, guys? Shall we move ahead? Yes or no? Just keep this concept in mind forever. Keep the concept of two tables. Don't mug up anything. I'm telling you. Don't mug up key having pehle aayega, where pehle aayega. Just think like while I execute table, two tables are created. Okay, so at this, while I'm writing a particular code, at this point, which table am I actually working on? Am I working on the original table, or I'm working on the aggregated table? And then you will be able to realize which particular thing to write. Okay, don't mug up anything that I have to write down this only, write down this only. Okay, just remember there are two tables and write down query accordingly. Okay, it will help you. After aggregation, immediately new table gets created. In that case, is the primary key. Foreign key concept will get applied. And I didn't get your question completely. Your primary key will automatically become whichever column contains the distinct values. You don't need to provide anything. Once your aggregation happens, it will automatically, if there are, for example, different, if there is a variable. So remember, what did I say? In the aggregate column, there might not be a primary key there, because there can be columns which contain which do not contain distinct values. So there a composite key, it will come automatically. You don't need to create anything. Okay, shall we move ahead? Everyone is good with the concept, the order of execution?
Why that alias is not working in having clause? That is not clear for me.
Why that alias is not working? Okay. So alias, how does it work? Is that once you have written a query, for example, it's simple. It's again order of execution only. That how SQL runs. You write down select. Remember, how are you writing down alias? You're writing in the select statement. Agreed?
Yes.
What did I tell you? Suppose you write down select team sum of runs as total from players group by team having sum of runs greater than 1000. Okay, this is the question that you are asking, that why cannot I write total here? Can someone answer before I answer anything? Can someone answer this question? Why cannot I? Based on the answer is stored where, whatever I taught you today, it is stored there only somewhere. Think a little bit. Why cannot I use sum of total here? Instead, why do I have to write sum of runs?
Because that variable is not yet created. The statement is not executed.
Why? I have already created this aggregate variable. So why can't I have already created this variable, right? Then only I am putting. If it is, tell me this. If this is working, then it means the variable is already created, isn't it?
Having sum of runs is runs on the original table, but when we refer total, it is looking for the memory, the variable in the memory. When it is not
No,
referred to,
I didn't get your answer. Can you explain again?
Okay. So when we have sum of runs, it will refer to the original table, and the runs column is existing, and we will get the aggregation here. And when we refer total, it's not yet created. And the variable is not available in the memory. So
This sum of runs, this to which column does it refer to? Original table or the aggregated table?
According to the SQL query execution, this is some team sum run as a total has not been made it till yet.
How? Tell me, if this is working, why I'm just naming it as total? Why it is not working?
Because if we take the order of execution, it will first run from group by and having. So if we take players and group by and having, we go to if we go to having and see for total, it is not created. It will be created when we
No,
go to the
tell me this. What is total variable? Total variable is this only. We are just changing the name. If this query is working,
it is only creating
but
after
it is a part of a
running
select
this
statement, no?
query.
So changing name is not still has been done, no? It is
yes,
still done after
remember
having.
this part is coming in the select statement.
Yes.
Okay. See the order of execution of select statement. Select
From
statement
where
comes
group by? Yes,
comes after having, right? So that is the reason. Where are you changing the label name? You're changing the label name in the select statement, not in the having statement. So till the having statement, you only have access to the sum of runs, the variable. You don't have access to the changed label that you created. That is the reason you cannot put total here. Is it clear?
Yes, yes.
Anyone, any question? Please, you guys can ask.
So can you repeat the last statement once?
I'm saying, so let's do one thing. Players, group by team. Okay. Having some. So let's run this. When I run this particular statement, okay, select sum of runs by team. Okay. From players, let's say where. Okay, I'll repeat. First, tell me, can I do a filter where team is equal to where team in KKR RCB? Can I do this?
We have to use equal to for getting the team names.
No, tell me this. Can I do this?
Yes.
Yes.
Why?
Because team column, this is the first filter. The where is the first filter, it takes the whole table.
Is
so in
team,
that, the team column is there, and we
is
can
team
create.
variable present in my original table? Yes, it is present.
Yeah.
Yes.
So I can put it here. Okay. Now tell me this. Having team, can I put this statement here? So if I remove this from here, can I put this statement here?
No.
Yeah.
Why yes, why no?
Yes, because
Having is only
Because
used
having
with
is used
aggregate functions.
by
Only with aggregate functions.
Tell me yes or no, guys, with reason.
So we can use having because we have a team column available in the
in the
table.
second table as well. Means
Yes, so we
the
can
group
run
by-
this. There is no condition that having works only on the aggregated columns.
Right.
Having works on the table which is created after aggregation. Remember this.
Yeah.
There is no condition like having works only on the aggregated columns.
So I mean, whatever is executed after till group by team,
Yes.
and that argument, the whole thing is given as an input to the having, and then the having thing is applied. So team is there in that result. So that is why it
Yes.
will return that.
Is it clear? Whatever you are mentioning in group by, okay, you can put a filter on that as well as the aggregation column that you have created. Because after group by, see, this table has team and total. So you can either put a filter on team or you can put a filter on total. Clear? Now come to the point that why in having I cannot mention y total greater than 1000. The reason is that I can put sum of runs, but I cannot put total. The reason is that when I'm running the table, this part comes in the select statement. Okay, so this total variable is creating in the select statement, not before that. Now if I check the SQL query of execution, it says I'll run from where group by having till having. Do I have access to the label total? Tell me this. At the time of running having, do I have access to this variable total, label total?
No.
I don't have access to the label total. What I have runs and I have sum of runs available. So that is why I can put filter only on sum of runs. I cannot put a filter on total. So that's why this as part is created towards the end. That's why you cannot put them for filter in having. In the group by, you mentioned categorical variables. In the group by, you do not put your like in the group by statement, you do not put your like aggregation function. Aggregation function is present here, sum of runs. So when you write sum of runs, so before whatever you write here, SQL takes all the aggregate function that okay, you are running this aggregation. In group by, you cannot group by across a numerical variable, right? By numerical I mean which has a cardinality of like lot, which for example revenue, sale. There's no sense of taking group by across that. You take group by across categorical variables only.
After having sum of runs more than 1000, can we add and or
You can add
you-
as many condition. This is just like a filter, just name is having. Can we use having without group by? If you do, tell me this reason. Someone is asking, is this question clear? First of all, how sum is getting access? The SQL, the way it is written, that you write the SQL query is this way. Okay, whenever in your select statement any aggregate function is present, that is stored separately. Select statement is not executed yet. Okay, those aggregation are accessed from here, those group by are accessed from here. Okay, now tell me, can we use having without group by? Someone is asking, can we use having without group by?
Yes, we can use.
How?
No, sir.
So till group by we can execute this query, no? If we don't.
Let's say group by is not present. Does having make sense?
No.
No, sir.
I write down select sum of runs from table from players having sum of runs greater than 1000. Before whether it runs or not, we'll see that later. Tell me, does this query make sense or not?
So actually,
it is going to return only one value, and usme bhi if you are comparing, so I
See
don't
this.
know.
Let's say this is the runs. Okay. What was my SQL command? My SQL command was this. Okay. So let's say run. This is my SQL query. Okay. Select sum of runs from players having sum of runs greater. So what is the meaning of select sum of runs? It means sum all the values. Correct.
Yes.
Having sum greater than 1000. Does it make any sense?
No.
No.
First of all, you have not even created the group by variable. So you have still not aggregated. If you have not created group by, you are still working on the first table only. So there is no point of using having. And even in that case, even if it were working, this query does not make any sense. I want to sum all the rupees, so that given that sum of all the rupees is greater than, like, that does not make any sense, in my opinion. So this query will not have any effect on it. That's what I'm saying. So let's do
Meaning
one thing.
this query will run, you mean to say, but it will not make any sense.
This filter will not make any sense. Is it clear?
Yes, because it giving you only one row and there is no any
It is
comparison
summing your
with
all the, so it will sum all the runs. Okay. It will still sum all the runs. Is it clear, guys? Anyone, any doubt before I move in? This is very important part of SQL. Trust me, this is very, 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 very important. Lord, all the aggregation questions, you will get confused beyond this if you don't understand this concept. So please make sure you understand this completely. If you have doubt, the purpose of live class is that only, that you ask here only. Okay. So if everyone is good, let's take a 5-minute break or 10-minute break, and then we will solve questions on this. Select star from players having team equal to mi. Okay, let's see that if it works. Let's see. I mean, even I have not executed that. Let's see if that works or not. Okay. So select star from players where team equal to, let's say, RCB.
Having team.
Sorry, having.
So this is, here it is showing an error, which means it's a clear definition that having only works with group by, right? Like it comes hand in hand with group by.
Having will, see, point is that having will execute only when you have created a sum. Okay. Let's say sum of runs.
Sum or any other aggregation, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
And now tell me this team equal to RCB. Have you kept this in the group by statement? You have not kept in the group by statement, right? So it will not work.
So basically, to give a having clause, the prerequisite is we have to do a group by.
We have to use a group by. As simple as that.
So by making group by, one aggregated table was created. Then after we can use having is
yes. Yes. So we will use group by, and then suppose let's say I'm selecting team. Okay. Then I will select group by team. Then I can put a filter to where team equal to RCB. Is it clear, guys? Having works only with aggregate. Unless you have actually aggregated it, it does not make any sense. Select team from players having team equal to RCB. Will this work? It will not work because having works on the aggregated table. Aggregated table works when group by is there. Group by is not there. Does it make sense? You have not put any aggregation yet, so having will not work. But so what will you use? You will use where.
So Satvik, I have one question here. So in the select statement, we are supposed to use definitely aggregation if you want to use it having class. No, right?
Yes.
Is it mandatory? But in the previous example, you said that when having a team equal team in, we mentioned one RCB or KKR like that, right? So here there we didn't use any aggregate function, right?
Where in which clause?
In the previous example.
This one?
Not this one. I think before few minutes before you said that even having will work without aggregation also.
This one you're talking about, right?
No. Select team comma sum of runs as total. I remember that from players and group by team having team in
having
team in there it should be RCB or KK or something you mentioned one example. You remember?
Yeah, so this will work now.
Okay, why? Because the team has
you doubt that why is this working?
Yeah, why? Because maybe the team is there in the group and as well as select. So that is the reason it is working. But
main reason is team is in group. That's why it's working.
Okay.
If team is not there, suppose you cannot put a filter. Let's say where wickets equal to where wickets greater than 0. You cannot put this filter.
Correct.
It will give an error because this is not present in the group by. See, error also says column must appear in the group by clause or be used in the aggregate function.
So that means definitely select statement should be there. Aggregate function has to be there, right?
Yes.
Okay, got it. Thank you.
Having works like where clause in the group table. Exactly. So this is the definition. Having works like a where clause in the group table that you have created. So whenever you run a SQL query, there are two tables. One is the original table. Second is the group table. Where works as filter on the original table. Having works as filter on the group table. Think like this.
That's a good explanation.
Yeah, clear. Thank you.
Yeah.
And what's the equivalent of having in the MySQL?
It's same. Having works in same everywhere. MySQL, whichever SQL. This remains same. So just repeating once again, every SQL query has two commands. Whenever you run any SQL query, it has two possible tables. One is the original table and one is the aggregated or group table. For the original table, we use where as a filter, and for the aggregated table, we use having as a filter. Now you need to determine when you're writing a SQL query whether you're working on the original table or you are working on the aggregated table. Okay, so you don't need to mug up anything. You just need to know this particular part.
And Satvik, one more thing is like you said alias can be used after having, right? But in MySQL, I'm able to use alias in having statement also.
Where?
Having
you can put here as well.
No, you said like having some of runs, right?
You're saying this,
you
right?
You cannot put total right there.
I didn't. I said that if you want to access this, you cannot put directly here. That's what I said.
So
but you can do sum of runs. What you're saying? Yeah, tell me.
So in MySQL, I'm able to use total instead of sum of runs.
You're saying in MySQL you're able to run this?
Yes.
This should not. This should please. Can you please tell your query? I just need to confirm. I don't think it works.
This worked for me.
This query itself is incorrect. That's
No,
why
no, 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 sorry. I have like wait.
Can someone test on MySQL if you are able to access the label? Because if it is working, it is new for me as well. Because as per my knowledge, it does not. I use mainly Postgres, right? So it could be that it's working. So can someone please check if this is working?
So basically, he's telling that aliases using alias with having can work in MySQL. Is this what he's
In
saying?
MySQL, it could. Yeah. See that server to server. I don't know because in Postgres it does not work. And I have used SQL Server as well. In there it does not work. In Snowflake also it does not work.
Yeah, I do remember that in MySQL it will work. The aliases will work everywhere.
Okay, so that's a new thing. I mean, we guys can have it for MySQL. You can use this total as well. Please, can someone confirm me if that is the case?
Actually, it does work.
It does work.
Yes, it does work. You can use the alias with having in MySQL. Yeah.
Okay.
I just right now had one of the query run in my MySQL. That's why.
This is the reason the having clause is evaluated before the select. So the server does not know about that alias. But I am not sure why is it working for MySQL. I need to check if there is some change or something because as per my knowledge, it does not work. Guys, I will check that. Okay, you can. So those who are working Postgres, you can employee name from this employee having salary. Sum of salaries. Okay, I'll check that and confirm. Okay, because for Postgres, I'm very sure it does not work, and and I need to check the reason why it is working because if I run this. Select player, select team, sum of runs from let's say select team, sum of runs from players, group by team, having sum of runs as total, having total greater than 1000. It will not work. I'm very sure. Okay. For MySQL, I will check and let you know. Okay, it's fine. If it's working, it's fine. So like people are saying that this is working for MySQL. So we'll check that. But I need to see the reason because select statement comes after it. So there might be a thing that it is taking a hold, but it's fine. I'll check that and update you. Any other doubt, anyone? Yeah, it could be that only MySQL is allowing that because I have used a lot of SQL servers. It does not work. I don't use MySQL much. So, but it could be that it is only working in MySQL. It might not work in Oracle or something else. So you guys can think. But
Yes,
by
yes.
default,
Actually, it is clearly given that it only works in MySQL. Other than that, there is no server
Yeah,
which
I've
can
done
run.
ChatGPT as well.
yeah. So logically, it should not work. They would have done something. It's fine. Okay. Yeah, it does. I am very sure it does not work on SQL Server as well. So it's fine, guys. So keep this in mind. If you're using, it's a new learning for me as well, to be honest. So if it's but let's go by logic only. Okay, so that you are able in whichever, because you don't know which server you'll be working on future. Okay, so let's go by this logic only, that you have to explicitly use sum of runs only rather than the label name, so that you don't get confused when using different servers. Okay, all good. So let's do one thing. Let's take a 10-minute break and we'll come back and we'll solve the questions. Okay, so it's 9:20. So I mean it's 9:50 in India, right? So let's meet at 10:05. Let's take a 14-minute break. And what do you want? Shall we discuss the next topic or shall we practice questions? I have a topic on dates as well, which I want to discuss. But if I go on practicing the execution, we will have to do the date in the next class. If you do the date today, we'll have to do, like, I will give you homework, do practice and send me assignments. So how you guys want it?
No, we'll practice first, then we'll go with the dates.
Let's practice first. We'll do dates later. It's fine. So yeah, in one session, let's cover one topic in the first half, then let's practice on the same in the next half, right? So that dates I will cover in the remaining part in the next session. So please, let's have a 13 more minute break is there, then come and clear this concept today. Let's put this to the end, like having where it is like a lot of people get confused that why and where to use it. You don't need to mug up anything. Again, for let's say for MySQL, it is working that alias name, but we don't need to mug up. Just go by this logic that select comes in the end, so it should not work. So let's prepare ourselves for a general scenario. Okay. And if someone has any doubt, we have 12 minutes. You can ask. Is everything clear or like सब ऊपर से चला गया? मुझे like शांति के दो रीजन ही होते हैं, या तो कुछ भी समझ में नहीं आया, या तो सब कुछ ज्यादा ही अच्छा समझ में आ गया. How many of you knew this concept? That there are two tables when we write down a SQL query. There are two. We work on two different tables during the execution. How many of you knew this? See, regex and we will cover in the as we move ahead. First, let's clear the basic concepts. Yeah, let me know how many of you knew this concept earlier, that we work on different tables once we write down a SQL query. So once you understand this concept, then try to write SQL. So whichever questions we are going to practice after the break, apply this. Take your time. Don't rush after solving queries. Okay. Think first which table I'm working on and correspondingly write your queries. It will help you a lot. Just put that on group that you want to know about regex and composite data types, so that I can bring in the next classes. Just put somewhere in a group or just me an email or something. Although I'm covering, but just for like if I miss any concept, I should know. But after today, just make sure you guys don't need to mug up anything, that which variable should I use in having, which variable should I use in where. Just go through the logical order. Okay. So we have 10 more minutes. If someone has any doubt, you can ask. Otherwise, let's take a break. While you're free, just go to this PDF. It is present class 6 data.pdf. Take the first table and it has 50 rows. Create in your SQL server, like whichever you are using. So first have this data in your systems. This is data of YouTube influencers across the world, and we have 50 rows on it. We will study this concept of aggregation, order of execution on this. Link is present in the WhatsApp group already. I have shared multiple times. Please access from there. I'm sharing for now, but link is present in WhatsApp group description. Please have that stored somewhere, right? Because I will constantly upload there only things. So just you, so that you don't need to ask again and again, right? You can just access that link. It is present in the WhatsApp group description. Please create the table which I have shared in the data file. And also open the PDF. It consists of the questions. So we have around 10 questions which we will be practicing today. So have everything ready before in next 6 minutes so that we can start practicing. So all the previous doubts are cleared. No one has any doubt from the previous classes. Or you guys have not seen the lectures, you didn't attempt, or like what?
Satvik, I yet to view the classes, previous classes, what I'm missing. Starting
Have you seen the classes?
No, not yet, not yet.
So do complete them this week. Like before next class, try to complete them. Right?
Sure, Satvik, yeah.
So I am able to submit the form and able to open. Can you guys check if you're able to open this solve button? Like if you go to that solve, are you able to access?
Yes, Satvik, we can able to.
Right. So you're able to, right? You go. So this is the so like just to share. This is the tab that you're having. So you will have the question here, the scenario here basically. Okay. Then you will have the question. You have the schema of the table. Some additional information will be available soon. Then in the table section, initially you will not see. You have to click on this. So this is the expected answer. If you click on this, you will get the data. Similarly, if a question has multiple data, there will be different tabs for each of the data. Okay, so like this will be, it will be present. Now, if you then there's a discussion, you can just comment your thoughts when you're solving. If you face any difficulty, you can simply comment here. We will get to know through email that you have put some comment. Okay, then you can solution will be available soon. Submissions are yours only. This AI chatbot will be available soon, where you can simply ask then, okay, let's say I am not able to solve, not able to solve please help. So it will not directly give you the question solution. It will ask you, what have you written? So you will paste your code here. Then it will suggest you what you can do to improve. So those things are there. It will come soon. This interface will, like this platform, this the I'll say the features which will keep on improving in coming days. So this is just a like initial version of the website. Okay, I just want to ensure everything is working, everything is good. Then we will add more features to it in coming days. Okay, so I hope everyone is back. So shall we start the practice? Okay, let's wait for 1 or 2 more minutes. Please have the data created, have the PPT ready with you. This everything is uploaded in the drive that I shared. Please open everything. And just before we say, is everyone able to access the question? Can you guys check if you can open the questions, access the tables, discussion? Are you guys able to do that?
Yes.
For tables, you can simply click on whichever table you want. You will get that table.
Hello, Satvik. I'm not able to access that question.
Which question?
The your data sense website solved that, and whenever I click is solved, still I'm facing that asking for few more details.
So you need to fill the every info. Have you filled the form completely?
No. Is
So
it
we have to fill
necessary
the
to
form
fill all that?
completely. For the table, you need to go this and click on the expected answer of this. Then only it will come.
I have clicked on the tab of the tables, and but it is coming as blank. I have shared the screenshot on the group.
It should come. Can others confirm? Are you guys able to see?
Earlier, I also faced the same thing. I am trying 1 minute.
Do one thing. change it to white setting. Just check if you click on this, are you able to get the table or not? Just write yes or no. If you guys click on this, I mean, don't just go. Initially, it will not come. You need to click on it somewhere. Then only it will come. Right? It's not possible that for some are able to see, some are not able to see.
I have changed the settings as well. Like I changed the screen to white, but it is not coming for me.
White has nothing to do with that. It should come.
Like under tables, it is just coming as expected answer and festival
So you have to
data.
click on this. You have to click on this. Did you click on expected answer?
Sir, actually, when it's asking information regarding, completing your profile, I have entered my USA number, but it's showing me validation error. I don't know.
I also entered USA number only. Just enter any 10-digit number.
So I shouldn't add like +1. It just
No, just enter your number. Is everyone able to? You need to click on the expected answer, then only it will come.
No, sir, it's not happening. Still not yet.
Did you enter the 10-digit number?
Yes, I did enter the 10-digit number.
What is it saying?
It's still showing validation error.
Have you filled?
Validation error is
Same problem.
also.
Have you filled the whole form?
Yes.
Okay, I'll check it after the class. I'll let you know.
For the institute and the company, if I enter my Utica, like my university
Just
name is
enter any text there. Just enter any text there. Write any string. Write any string. Just write down data science or something else. You can write it down.
No, sir.
Is it not working?
No, it's not working. It's still showing me validation error.
Okay, I will check that. You might be entering something incorrectly. I mean, page
For
is
the
same. Page is same. For some it's working. For some it's not working. I mean, I'll check it. Okay, we will see that later. Fine. Let's come to the questions. So you have the data created. Now open this PPT that I shared here on the slide 7 and 8. There are total 10 questions that we will do today. Okay. So let's start from the question 1. So first, everyone please solve it. The question number 1. Don't run ahead of the time, please. Only solve question number 1. Don't give me solution for others. Let's go step by step. Okay. So first solve the question. Think logically. Don't just write query. While writing query, think as well. Don't just write the query. Okay. Try to write down your reason as well if possible.
Hi, Satvik. I have joined little lately. Where can I get the table for this questions?
Sorry?
Where can I get the data for this questions?
It is present in the drive that I shared.
Okay.
Go to that. There is the folder class 6.
Okay, yeah, I saw it, but there are 2 data sets, YouTube and
create the first one.
Okay, sorry, thanks.
So please solve the question number 1. Write down the code, write down the solution, tell me your explanations. And don't run ahead of the time. Only give me question for solution for question 1.
Oh, for the first table, it has some 50 rows, right? I'm just asking. I'm
Yes,
so sorry.
it has 50 rows.
Yeah.
Ramakrishna, your query is incorrect. If you're using channel type, if you're using sum, you're missing something in the question, in the query. Check it again. Check, is this query running? It will not give you result. And tell me if gaming should come in where clause, having clause, where shall it come? Oh, sorry, your query is right. Ramakrishna, it's right. Yeah, sorry, I assumed it's something. I'm sorry, I assumed it's something else. Guys, please write down your queries.
Sir, so sorry, I wasn't present for the last 15 to 20 minutes. We have to just solve the first 5 questions. Sir.
Just solve the first question, write
Okay.
down your solution, and put in chat box. Only first question, not first 5. Only first one. Now tell me, shall we use where or having? Those who have done the query, in the first question, shall we use where or having? Some have written having, some have written where. So tell me what is the correct. For the question number 1, please let's discuss the question number 1. What shall we use? Where or having?
Where? We should use where.
Or can we use both?
No, having won't work.
Let's go to the data. Question says, calculate the total revenue for influencers in the gaming category. Okay. I only want revenue for influencers in the gaming category. So let's go to the code here. So what will I do? First of all, so I want sum of revenue for influencers in the gaming category. Now, if I simply write down this, select for influencers in the gaming category. So sum of what is the variable revenue last month. Okay. So let's break down the question in 2 parts. First of all, the question says that I need to find sum of revenue for influencers in gaming category. Correct. So let's try to think how are we going to approach, how to logically think to solve this particular question. Can I do like this? The first step shall be get revenue only for gaming category, take sum. Will this be the right approach?
Yeah.
Yes or no?
Yes, sir. Yes.
Okay. So logically, let's forget about the SQL. Just think like this. I need to find sum of revenue for influencers. Forget if this statement was not present, for example. Okay. Let's say remove this. I need to find sum of revenue for all the influencers. So for example, let's say I go in this data set. Okay. Let's say these are all the influencers. What I need to do, I simply need to sum all the revenues. Right? If there was no condition. Agreed, everyone? But the question says, I want only for those who are from gaming. Okay. So there are two ways to do that. First of all, I filter out the gaming people. So in the data, I filter only the gaming. So I go to channel type, I select only the gaming people. Okay. And once I get these people, I take the sum of their revenue. Is this the right approach or not?
Yeah.
Okay. This is the first approach. Second approach, what I can do here is, so in this particular, so let's discuss about first approach. Do I need a having clause there or will where work? What did I do? First of all, I filtered only the gaming people, gaming channels, and I took their sum. Guys, yes, no? Or you're not getting it?
Yes.
So what I'm doing, first of the question says, find the revenue of our influencers in the gaming category. So I'm saying what I will do, I will simply go to the data. First of all, I will filter the gaming category. Okay. Once I filter the gaming category, I will take the sum of their revenue. As simple as that. Okay. So what I need to do, I need to filter the data first of all on gaming. So in the query, I will write down select star from, let's say, YouTube, for example, where channel type equal to gaming. Let's say write down this. What will come? I'll get all the gaming channels. Is it correct? Once I get this, I just need to take the sum of all the revenues. So I will say select sum of
last month
revenue, sum of revenue last month from YouTube where channel type is equal to gaming. I'll get this. Did I use any having here? Tell me, did I use any having here? Even though I'm using some.
No. But having it has also the same answer.
I'll come to that and I'll come to that. So why tell me why is it working with where here? Because this gaming filter is already present in my original table. I can simply filter on my original table and I can take the sum. This is my first approach. Correct? And why with sum where is working? I don't need a having because I'm not creating any group by here. I'm just taking the sum of the everything. So I don't need any having here in the first step. Now let's do the second method. So this query will also work. You don't need a having. It is not mandatory to have having. You can simply use a bare filter and you can get the result. Is this approach clear to everyone?
But the right approach is using a group by, no?
This is not, who said this is incorrect approach?
I mean,
what is the question?
But we have to find out sum of total revenue or for the influencer of gaming category.
So is my answer not correct?
Correct.
Correct.
Tell me.
Yes, it's correct. But
Am I using
we
any
should
incorrect method?
no, but we are using aggregating function now. So I
So
thought
this is the
it's
concept you need to learn. When you're using aggregate function, it is not mandatory to use having. It is not mandatory to use group by. You need group by when you need to aggregate across a categorical variable. If I just need to sum something, do I need, suppose I just need to run this. What's wrong with this query? Is there anything wrong with this query? So this is the concept you guys need to remove from. That's why I'm saying, I don't know from where you have learned what, right? Remove all that right now. Just learn from here that you do, there is no such ground rule or no such thing that whenever you're using an aggregate function, you need to use group by. There's nothing like that. Totally depends upon the question. Okay. If you just need to take the whole sum of a variable, you don't need a group by, because I need this sum across whole table. I don't need this sum across a categorical variable.
मैं तो सुबह देखूंगा या सो रहा हूँ 6-7 बजे के आसपास.
उठ जाना भाई प्लीज, लेकिन आप म्यूट कर दो पहले. Is it clear, everyone?
Yeah, yes, sir.
Is the logic clear? So this statement is not incorrect. This is totally correct. You can do this as well. If I would have asked you, calculate the total revenue across various gaming channels, across various categories. Suppose my question was, calculate the total revenue across all channels, across various channels, for example. Then you need to have a group by, because now I don't need to create total revenue of the whole table. I need to create revenue across various channels. So there I will need a channel type. Are you getting? Someone was asking a doubt. Is it clear?
So if we have more than one
Yes,
categorical
yes.
variable, then we need.
If we have even one categorical variable, we have to use group by. Right now there is no categorical variable here. I only need to get the sum of the whole. Think what the question is asking. Question is asking, find the total revenue for influencers in the gaming category. It does not say that give me the total revenue across anything. It just says that मुझे total revenue दो given a filter. Getting my point? Or it's not clear?
Okay, understand.
Are you sure? Don't just shy away from asking.
Yes.
single category variable कैसे होगा मैम?
Single, if they ask you need
Category
to
where?
get across some variable, for example, let's say, come here, you have suppose they ask you across country, give me total revenue across various countries. So it's a single categorical variable. Calculate total revenue across various countries for influencers in the gaming category.
Then we will use group by.
Yes, suppose the question becomes, calculate total revenue across various countries for gaming channels. Now what will you do? Tell me. Now write the query, please. Please can write down the query for this question.
Satvik, I have one question. Here in the above code, can we use alias? I was getting some error.
Yeah, you can use it. Alias, you can use it. It's up to you.
I don't know why it's showing error for me. If I use as total revenue when I run it.
What did you use? Total underscore revenue.
Yeah, so I just use total revenue, something like that.
It's working.
We should give an underscore also. I mean,
Did you give a space?
Yeah.
If you give a space, it will not work. You need to give an underscore.
Okay. I want to know the reason. I mean, why we have to
Space, it does not take space as a name.
Okay.
For example, when you write down select, let's say variable name is game channel type.
Yeah.
Channel type. How does SQL know if
Okay.
it's a one variable or if there are two variables? So you need to include an, for name, you need an underscore.
Okay, thanks.
So the query for this question, for this part will be, I see, calculate total revenue across countries for gaming channels. So what will we do? First of all, we'll go to, let me show you in the Excel. I need to find the sum of revenue for across various countries for gaming channels. So first of all, what I need to do, what is the filter here? The filter is channel. Okay. And channel filter needs to be applied in the where clause. Okay. Filter, channel, you go to the gaming. Once you do this, now you have India, Canada, Sweden, you have 3 countries. Now you need, so this should come in group by, okay? And then you need to take sum. So the query for this question will become select sum of revenue as total revenue you need across country. So for example, what is the country variable name? COUNTRY. Country sum of revenue as total revenue from YouTube, where channel is equal to gaming, group by your country. Wait a second. Let me just remove this. Total revenue. So you will get like this. So this will be the query. Okay. Now for the coming to the first question, the first method was, which I told you, you can simply use a where, but we can solve it using having as well. How? By keeping the gaming variable in the group by function. So what I can do for the first question, I will say select channel type, okay, from YouTube. Okay. Now, because I have put here, I don't want to use where. Can I do it using having? So I'll write down group by channel underscore type. Now, once I run this part, after the group by execution, what is my intermediate table? What is the variable of channel type?
It's without underscore.
It's without underscore?
Yes. Then you need to change in group by.
Yeah. So once you run this, you have got total revenue across various channels. Now the question says, I want revenue only where channel type is gaming. So I can do in this table, I can also apply a having filter. I will say having channel type is equal to gaming, which is here. And this query will also work.
So I have a basic doubt. Now actually I came across it. When on what column we used to we should use group by, and on what column we should use having. Like once I see the query, I understand the query, but on what column I should use group by and what I should use the having, there I'm getting confused.
Group by, this depends upon question. You have to read the question. You want value across what? Okay. In the question that I gave, in the first question, read the question. Have I mentioned that I want it across any category, across any channel type? It says calculate the total revenue for influencers in the gaming category, right? So there is a channel type category. It is asking me to create revenue for a particular type of category. So what can you do? You can think like, okay, let me create revenue across all the channel types, and from there I will do a filter. So group by depends upon the question. You need to read the question properly, that across, when you're summarizing, when you're aggregating anything, you need to know across what variable are you aggregating. So that should come from the question. That question contains that information. You need to read it. You need to read it. Tell me what is your confusion? Tell me.
So because like when the question changes, I again get confused. Like, I mean, I get the question, but here I'm getting confused between what I should give in group and what I should write in which column should I do in having. I don't know, sir. It just varies. When a different question comes, I'll again get confused in that. So it's like as long as you are doing it, I agree. I mean, I understand it logically. I understand it properly. But when a new question is thrown at me, then that time I am getting confused, and it also takes me like not quite some time to write down that query like that. It is happening.
I get it. I get it. It is possible. So follow this approach. Ask yourself, is any aggregation required in the question? Please write down this step, because this I will teach in the art of solving SQL questions. I have covered this part there, but let me teach that here as well. Whenever a question comes, an aggregate, first of all, remember we discussed yesterday. You have to ask, is it an aggregation question or customized selection? Correct? If you remember, yes. Do you remember this part? Yesterday we discussed this part.
Yeah.
Question can either be customized selection or either an aggregation question.
Aggregation, yeah.
This question is what? This question is an aggregation or customized selection?
Aggregation.
How you're saying aggregation?
Because we have to we have to do a sum of a revenue column. I mean, we have to take a sum of something.
Yeah, it will take sum of something. Sum is an aggregation function. So it is an aggregation question.
Yeah.
Clear? While you were speaking, you were not confident. Now, the reason why is it an aggregation question is that this contains sum. Okay, sum, average, minimum, max, whatever it is there. Whenever you see those things, it means it is an aggregation question. Clear?
Yeah.
Okay, so we have cleared that this is an aggregation question. Now, second question, once you have decided this, you should ask, aggregate across what? This information is present inside the question. And you need to ask that, you need to read the question again and again, again and again. Okay. So do one thing. We'll solve more questions today. Okay. Ask yourself this, and then you will see across which variable you need to aggregate. Because aggregation always happen on a variable. It does not happen on a like do I want to aggregate over the whole table, or do I want to aggregate over a particular column? Okay, so you need to ask which column is that.
Okay.
So keep this architecture in mind for the time being and think while you're solving question. Okay, I'll explain as well as questions come.
Okay. Yeah.
It will take some time. It will not come in one day, but force yourself to think this way, then it will come. Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
So let's go to the question number 2. Please, let's solve the question. So the first question can be solved using where as well. It can be solved using having as well. It's totally depending how you want to solve. Now let's solve the question number 2. try to solve the second question using where as well and using having as well. Okay, second question you need to solve using where command as well. Total revenue for, sorry, no, forget what I just solve the question number 2. Just solve the question number 2 based on whatever you think. And remember, follow this architecture which I just said. If it is an aggregation, think across what variable it is asking. Is everyone able to solve? Okay, let's come to the discussion. Question says, let's try to think how to know the variable. The question says, find the total revenue for each country. Okay, now suppose this is my table. Now someone was asking, right, how to decide across which variable, how to decide that logically. The question says, I have to find revenue. So first you need to ask, is it asking revenue for the whole table or it is asking for a variable separately? Tell me this. Is the question asking the revenue for the whole table or it is asking for a particular column separately?
For a particular column.
Particular column.
What is that particular column?
Country.
Country, right? So try to draw this expected diagram. Again, I will cover this once we study the structure, art of solving SQL question. But so what is it saying? It has given me a data. It is asking me, I want revenue across countries. Is it right?
Yeah.
So expected table would look like, I will have various countries and I will have their revenue. Is it correct?
Yes.
This is the expected table that they are asking us. In the expected table, this table, countries, tell me, is this an aggregate column or it is a group, it is a categorical column?
Categorical.
Categorical column.
This is a categorical column. So this should come in group by or this should go in aggregate part?
Group by.
Group by.
This has to come in group by.
Okay.
And revenue has to go where?
Aggregated column.
This is an aggregate column or this is a categorical column?
Aggregated column.
Aggregated.
So this has to go under the sum part. So this will not come under group by. Only remember, only the categorical variables will come under the group by, not the aggregate columns. Okay. With this information, let's try to write the query. Okay. The question says, so what do I need to do? I simply, just a second. Okay. Yeah. So I need to select sum of what is the variable revenue last month. Okay. As total, let's say revenue from, what is the table name? YouTube. Okay. Tell me, is it asking this information? Let's say if I run this, is it asking me this information or it is asking me revenue across a variable? It is asking across a variable, correct? That, as we discussed, that variable has to come in group by. Okay. Group by, what is the variable name? Country. And if the variable is coming here, I need to put it here as well.
Yeah, got it.
So you will get the result. So read the question. Aggregation, is it asking across what all variables? So जितने भी variables होंगे categorical, वो सब group by के अंदर आएंगे. Is it clear?
Yeah, sir. So can you
Now,
take that focus on the other screen, which the other tab where you
which
drew
one?
the diagram?
This one?
Yeah. Yeah.
Is it clear?
Yeah.
Let's try to use same concept, and we'll try to solve using same concept in all the questions. Okay. So let's go to the next question. Solve the question number 3. Calculate total revenue for each country, but only include rows where channel type is gaming. Question number 3, please solve it. Take your time, try to create the diagram in your mind, just like I told, then solve the question. Let's come to the discussion. Okay. Question says, calculate the total revenue for each country, but only include rows where channel is gaming. Let's try to break this. Let's try to break it down. So calculate total revenue for each country, but only include rows where channel type is gaming. Okay. Now, first of all, guys, tell me, is this an aggregation question or not?
It's aggregation.
Yeah.
Aggregation.
It is an aggregation question?
Yes.
Okay. So I write down that this is an aggregation question. Equal to yes. Now, aggregation always happen across a variable, or so tell me, is it asking you to aggregate over the whole table data, revenue across the whole data, or it is asking across a particular variable? Tell me this. Read the question and tell me this.
Particular variable.
What is that particular variable?
Gaming.
Is gaming.
Think again. Aggregation is across gaming
Each
or country?
across each country, and then we have to.
Yeah, here is what the catch is actually.
So the catch is that it is not asking you to give revenue across gaming channel. Read the question. Calculate revenue of each country, but only include rows where channel type is gaming.
Yeah, got it. Yeah, so revenue is calculated per country. Country
So
will have
if I try to create, suppose, so let us say, let's go to my main draw board. Okay, let's try to figure out, guys. This is very important. You need to learn this because, so for example, this, suppose your table is created here initially. Okay, let's say you have this table, and sorry, like those who know, please, I'm taking some time so that everyone is on the same page. Okay, so those who understood this, you can start solving the next questions, but those who didn't, please try to focus on this concept. So for example, let's say this is your data. Okay, this is your original data which is present, and you have 3 columns. For example, here you have various channels. It is a gaming channel. Let's say it is a, for example, education channel. This is a gaming channel. This is an education channel. This is a let's say music channel, for example. And then you have basically type, channel type, you have revenue, and what is your next column? It is your country, for example. Okay, suppose revenue 100, 200, 300, 400 and 500. The question says, can someone read the question? The question says, I need to find revenue, total revenue
Calculate the total revenue of each country,
of each country,
but only include row where channel type is gaming.
Only
include rows where channel type is gaming.
Okay. Now think like this. So what my expected table will look like. So what will I do? I will simply remove all the non-gaming channels from my data. Is it correct? I have to remove this. I have to remove this, and I have to remove this. Is it clear? Now for this filter data, I want to calculate revenue for each country. So do I need to group across country or channel? Think. What is the grouping mean? Grouping means the final table that they are asking, the total revenue that they are asking. What does the grouping mean? It means the final table that you are calculating, the total revenue. Okay. Revenue. Are they asking across various channel types, or they are asking across
countries?
Tell me this.
Country.
Across each country.
Across country or channel type. Think and tell me. Here, what will come? Various channels will come or various countries will come?
Countries will come.
Yes, countries will come.
Countries will come. Agreed?
Yeah.
So, this is your expected table. Now, in this expected table, this is a categorical variable or an aggregated variable? Tell me.
Categorical variable.
It is a categorical variable. And what is this?
Aggregated variable.
Aggregated variable. With this knowledge, let's try to write down the code. Okay. With this knowledge, let's write down the code. The code says select. So first of all, select. Okay. So let's remove this as total revenue from YouTube. Okay. Initially, this is my query where I'm getting revenue for all of the countries, but this is not I need. I need revenue across various countries, which I just saw in the table, the expected table that I create. So always try to create that expected table in mind before writing the query. So is this my answer? No, I need this revenue across various countries. Does it make sense? Now, the moment I include a categorical variable, I need to add a group by as well. Is it correct? Group by country. Does this make sense? Now the question initially said that I only wanted for which category? What was my filter initially?
Gaming.
I only wanted for gaming channel. So where will that gaming come? Will it come in having, or will it come in where? Tell me.
Where?
Why where? Why not having?
Because we are using where because we have to use a first level filter where it will filter out only the gaming channel.
Yes, the first level filter is my gaming. So I will filter out in my initial part only. Okay. So I will say where channel type equal to gaming. Okay. Is it clear? Now this will be my answer.
And Sadhvik, like suppose if we have a second level filter, then we will use having clause.
Depends where are you applying that filter. If it says where only for gaming channels and for example let's say and who have subscribers more than 1 million.
Okay.
So where does that initial filter comes in? Think like this. Always think, where does your all the filters which you're applying, can they be applied on the main table, or will they need to be applied on the aggregated table? Think like this.
Okay.
So for example, in this particular question, how many filter does this question contain?
One filter only.
One filter. Can that be applied on the initial table? Does your initial table contain a flag where I can filter out rows gaming?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Suppose there was a condition where channel type is and has more than 1 million subscribers. Where will this condition go? Will it go in having, or will it go in where?
It will go in having clause.
Having.
Why having? Why where? Give me with reason. Tell me with reason.
Because we have a first level of filter for the gaming, and we have a second level filter of million subscriber.
So who said that second level of filter will go towards having?
No, it will come in the where clause, and we have to add an and thing to it.
Exactly.
Yes.
Guys, we solved so many questions where we had multiple conditions in where.
Yeah.
So there can be multiple hundreds of conditions you can put in where clause.
Yes.
Then what about having?
Here having is not required.
Okay, so you have told me having is used for where just I'm not getting the correct.
What is the confusion?
Yeah.
Using of having and where now. It's little getting confusion. I mean, when we are using group by and group by having, when we have to use have by. Actually, the main problem is that when we have to use have by.
When do we have to use?
Have by. Having clause. Sorry, having clause.
What did we discuss before the break? Think again. What did we discuss before break? Tell me.
Where is based on the original table and having based on the group by
Where
table.
is based on the original table and having is based on the aggregated table. Is this much clear? Now read the question and ask yourself, how many filters? Okay, suppose whenever a question is given to you, first write down all the filters which are present in the question. So for example, this question, let's say this question, okay? So this is the question, okay? Whenever you see any question, do one thing. Write down how many filters are there. How many? So whenever you see any question, write down how many. So, okay, what did we learn? Where is applied on the original table? Is it correct?
Yes.
Having is applied on the aggregated table or group by, after group by. Is this much clear to everyone?
Yes.
Now, whenever you see any question, write down all the filters which are given in the question. They might confuse you with English language, but just try to break down how many filters are present in the question. Tell me, read the question and tell me. Whoever was having doubt, please please participate and tell me how many filters are present in the question.
Channel type
Two
equal to gaming.
filter.
Two filters.
What is the first filter?
Gaming.
Channel type equal to filter.
Channel type
Sorry, gaming. Sorry.
Gaming.
equal to gaming. This is my first filter.
Second filter is subscriber more than 1 million.
Second filter is
Subscriber more than 1
Greater
million.
than
1 million.
Yeah.
Any other filter in the question? Is there any other filter in the question?
No.
Now that we have written all the filters, ask yourself, can you filter these two in the original table? Think this first. Do you have variables to filter these two in the original table?
Yes.
Yes.
If it is yes, both will go to where? Okay. Suppose, let's say I add another condition to the question. I add a condition, calculate the total revenue for each country where this and where revenue is greater than 5,000. Okay. Let's say this is also the condition. Let's say I write down, I type it down in the question. So for each country and where include countries where total revenue is greater than 5,000. Now tell me, let's do this. Now let's do this thing once again. Okay. Okay. So what you have to do, just remove this part as well. Okay. So what we are going to do, we are going to write it down here that there will be a where and there will be a, we just need to decide, right, which will go in which clause. We need to decide that. Correct? That is our main trouble. Agreed? Now tell me, what all filters are there in the question? Tell me from start.
Channel type equal to gaming.
First filter is channel type. Correct? Channel type. What is the second filter?
Subscribers greater than 1 million.
Subscriber greater than 1 million. Is there any other filter?
Total revenue is
Total revenue.
greater than.
Remember, it is total revenue, not the revenue. Okay. Total revenue of a country include countries where revenue is greater than 5. So I need those countries where the total revenue is greater than 5,000. Okay. The revenue of country should be greater than 5,000. These are total 3 filters. Is everyone on page with me till now?
Yes.
Now tell me this. This filter, can it be applied on the original table?
Yes.
Yes.
Is there a variable channel type in the original table?
Yes.
So this will go to the where?
Where? Yes.
So channel type will go to where? Subscriber greater than 10 to 36. Is there a variable subscriber in the original table?
Yes.
Yes or no?
Yes. In original table is there.
So subscriber will go to the where clause. Total revenue. Is there a variable total revenue in my original table?
No.
So it will not go in the where clause. It will go in the having clause. Now tell me if you have any doubt deciding which variable should go where. So what you need to do, follow this approach. You get the question, okay? Write down all the filters which are present. Okay? Once you write down all the filters, decide, ask filter by filter, is this filter present in my original table? Yes or no? If it is present, I will move it to the where clause. If it is present, I'll move it to the where clause. If this is not present, I will move it to the having clause. Is this much segregation understood? Guys, what happened? नहीं समझ में आ गया? Please बताओ.
Understood.
Understood, sir.
Anyone who is not able to understand even now, tell me. I will explain again. Shall I explain this once again, or it is clear?
Yes, I think it is clear now.
Clear, everyone? So will you be able to decide which filter should go? Remember, where and we have two types of filter in any SQL query: where and having. We just need to decide which filter should go where. Okay, that how should we decide? Read the question, write down all the filters, and ask yourself, is that filter present in my original table? If yes, it will go under where. If that is not present, that will go under having. Okay, and whatever, this much part clear, right? Now next question comes, what will come under group by? So you need to check the aggregation. Now here your comprehension of English comes into play, because there is no direct formula for this. Just like I taught a formula for this, there is no direct formula for this group by. Here you need to read, but there is a catch. Aggregation is always done on a, what is, when we say for example, I need sum of sales, I need sum of revenue, anything, we ask this across a, whether we want this across the whole table, okay, as I mentioned, or I want it partitioned, like I want for different variables, like for a variable, like for this I want something, for this I want something, for this I want something. Like, do I want for a whole table or I want for a specific column? That you need to decide. That you need to read the question. Okay, in this question, read and tell me, revenue is required across what variable? Is it required across the whole table, or it is required across a variable?
Only country.
So we will come under group by. Okay, so country will come under group by. So my SQL will look like, if I have to write down my SQL command, it will look like select, there will be a from, there will be a where, there will be a group by, and there will be a having. Correct? These are the syntaxes. These are, you just remember I told you, you just need to fill in the blanks. Okay, let's try to fill in the blanks. From is my table name. This I already know. Okay, where, are we able to decide what will come under where? Channel type and subscriber will come under where, and total revenue and will come. So CT and what will go under where? Channel type and subscriber. Is it clear? Group by, we just saw we need group by across country. Okay, now if country is coming across group by, country needs to come in the select statement as well, because country is an categorical variable. After that, the question is asking me sum of revenue. Now I have a filter that total revenue should be greater than particular. Now that particular has to come here, which we just saw. Total has to be greater than whatever number is there. And this becomes your final SQL query. Now tell me if you guys have any doubt. We'll follow this approach while solving the questions. Okay, we have like 15 minutes remaining. We will solve a couple of more questions and the rest will be your assignment. And try to follow this architecture only, please. Don't follow anything. If you know something in advance, please don't follow that. Just follow this architecture if you really want to understand which thing to put where. So with this information, let's move to the next question and we'll try to write down. Okay. So let's move to the question number. So let's do the question number 4. Find countries where total revenue exceeds this. Okay. So what I will do, I will clear board. And I'm solving it, but you guys need to tell me. So be proactive with me. Okay. Question says find the total revenue, find countries where total revenue exceeds $200, 200K. Okay. So let's write it down. So first of all, list down which all filters are present in the question.
Country and total revenue. No, sorry, total revenue exceeded.
Tell me everyone, which all filters are present in the question?
Total revenue of the country.
Guys, why I'm hearing only 1 or 2 people? What is the
Revenue-
total?
total
What all
revenue-
filters are present in the
revenue
question?
and countries.
First is countries and other
Because
is
of aggregated variable.
sum of total like sum of revenue.
Is country a filter here?
Yes, it's a filter.
What is filter?
No.
Total
Revenue exceeding it
exceeded with
to
200.
Revenue exceeding.
You just need to find countries. Countries are variable already present in your system. You need to find those countries where revenue exceeds 200K. So there is only one
revenue.
There's only one filter in this particular that where total revenue is greater than whatever 200K. Okay. Is there any other filter, guys?
No.
No.
No. Tell me this. Is this variable present in my original table or not? Total revenue.
No.
No.
So where will this variable go?
Having.
This variable will go towards having. Okay, clear till this point?
Yeah.
Now, do I need to calculate any aggregation in the question?
Yes.
Yes.
I need to calculate total revenue. Read the question. I need to calculate total revenue across what? Do I need to calculate the total revenue for all the table, or I need to calculate separately for a particular column?
Column countries. Country.
I need to calculate revenue for a particular column, that is country. Is it clear? This country, is this a categorical variable or it is a aggregate variable?
Category.
This is a categorical variable. This revenue is what? Aggregate or categorical?
Aggregate.
Aggregate. Now let's move. So we have created the architecture of the question. Now let's write down this SQL query. What all commands do we have? We have select, we have from, we have where, we have group by, and having. We have these commands in any SQL query. Is it right? Now let's read and try to fill in. Table name I know already. Okay, let's say table. First, I will try to put where. Is there anything which I can put in where? Do I have any? In where I don't have any variable?
No.
So where is not required in this question. I'll remove it. Now come to aggregation. is what aggregation is have they asked?
Total revenue.
So you'll write down total revenue. Are they asking revenue across a particular category, or they're asking revenue for the whole table?
Country across
Country.
For
So country will come
particular
in
category.
the
Group by country.
group by. Correct?
Yeah.
So you will add country here as well. Make sense?
Yeah.
Because whatever you write in group by needs to come here as well. Is there any having filter in anywhere? What is the condition? Is there any having filter in the question?
Yes. Yes.
Where total revenue has to be
revenue
greater than
So
where
200K.
so I'm just writing out total where total revenue is greater than 200K.
Okay.
This is your SQL query. Now let me write it down. Let's check. So I'll go to SQL. Okay. So I'll write down select from where group by having, right? These are the major syntaxes. From is my table name, so it is YouTube. Correct? Is any where clause in the question?
No.
There's no where clause because there's no filter which is required. So we need to write down country sum of what? Revenue last month as total underscore revenue. Now group by, what shall come in group by?
Country.
Because they have asked us revenue across a variable. What is that variable? That is country. Having. Is there any filter in having?
Some revenue last month.
Sum of revenue last month has to be greater than whatever the number is. 200. So this should be the query. Maybe I have not taken the right revenue. We got the answer. Is it clear, guys?
Yes.
So think logically, think using the architecture that I have told you. So let's solve one more question using that architecture. That is the last question for the day. Then please practice on this architecture only. Okay. There are 10 questions in this assignment. Try to finish them. Okay. Find countries. So can you guys try this question first before I tell you? Use the same architecture that I told. First, list down all the filters. Check which all filter come under where, which will come under having. Then check aggregation if it is required across what variable. List that down. Then write the SQL query. Please everyone, it's my humble request. Please solve using this method only, the method that I told. Don't rush in. Think. First, list down all the filters. Okay. And then check which filter belongs where. I'm just increasing the time by 15 minutes. Don't worry, we will finish after this question. Just for doubts, I'm increasing the session time. Okay. And please follow only the method that I have told you. Don't like start blindly coding, please. So guys, let's come here. Okay, let's start discussing this question. Let's go step by step. Okay, please everyone pay attention to this, please, and whatever I ask, please try to answer. Okay, first tell me, is it clear to everyone that while executing any SQL query, there are two tables? One is my main table, second is the aggregated table, right? Where filter is used for the main table and having filter is used for the aggregated table. Is this much clear to everyone?
Yes.
Okay. Now, what is our so whenever we get a SQL, first of all, list down what all filters are present in the question. Guys, tell me. Read the question and tell me which all filters are present.
Channel type equal to gaming.
I want answer from everyone, not only 1 or 2%.
Channel type
Gaming
equal
and
to gaming and total
revenue.
revenue exceeds 30,000.
So the first filter is channel type equal to gaming. Is it clear? Any doubt in this part?
No.
Find countries with influencers in the gaming category, right? So I want where category equal to gaming. What is the second? Is there any other filter in the question?
Yeah, aggregate
Yes,
or total revenue.
exceeds 30,000.
Total revenue greater than 30K. Any other filter?
No.
Any other filter? Asking once again. Think again.
So it will also calculate the total revenue for countries which is greater than 30K.
Right now I'm just asking filters. Just tell me which all filters are there in the question. Is there any other filter apart from these two?
No.
No.
No, correct? Let's go towards each filter. Channel type equal to gaming. Is this variable present in my main table? Check the
Yes.
table and
Yes,
tell.
yes, yes.
Yes.
And where
So this
condition?
should be a where or having.
Where?
Where?
It should be a where. Total revenue. Is there a variable named as total revenue in the main
It
table?
will go to having class.
It will go under having. Clear?
Having.
This
Yes.
filter part we are sorted. Now let's go to aggregation part. Tell me, for what variable are they asking? For what variable are they asking aggregation? For what? Like what they want to sum, average, or what across what variable? Sorry, I mean what variable they want to sum, average, max, min, whatever it is there. What is the aggregation variable?
Revenue.
Revenue. Revenue.
They
Revenue
want
last
to
month.
aggregate the revenue.
Yeah, revenue.
Make sense? Tell me, is this aggregation happening? Are they asking revenue of the whole table once, or they asking for a particular variable?
Particular country variable.
So they're asking revenue across country. Now tell me this revenue, it is an aggregate column like total revenue which will create after this. Is it an aggregate column or it is a categorical column?
Aggregated column.
This is an aggregate column.
Aggregate.
This country is
Categorical.
So this should come under group by, right?
Yes.
And this should come as sum. This much clear, everyone?
Yes.
Now let's write down the SQL query. Select from where group by having. So as usual, from is present with me. Where? First, let's see which filter is there for where. Is there any filter for where? Can I find it?
Yeah, where channel type equal to gaming.
Where channel type is equal to gaming. This is my where filter. So I'll put where channel type equal to gaming. Clear this point? Is there any other filter left with me? Yes, this filter is left with me, correct? And this will go to having. So I'll put this filter in having. Having sum of revenue greater than whatever number it is there. Okay. Now let's come to the aggregation part. They're asking us how many aggregation. They have asked only aggregation for one variable, that is revenue, correct? So what I will do, select sum of revenue, right? They have asked sum of revenue across a variable, which we just saw. Across what variable have they asked? They have asked revenue, total revenue across what variable?
Country.
Country.
So country will come here and country will come in the group by. This will be your SQL syntax. Let me first write it down. Let's go to the code and let's write down this query. Okay. Similarly, whenever you have to write down a SQL, those who are beginners, who are just understanding this, please always follow this approach, right? Write down select, write down from, write down where, write down group by, write down having. Okay. So from where, what filter do I have? Channel type equal to gaming. Okay. From is my table name. Okay. Now, what is my second filter? My second filter needs to be sum of revenue last month. What is the value? It has to be, I forgot. Let's say it is I think it's 100K.
Greater than 30K.
30K. Okay. Okay. So it is greater than 30,000. Okay. Now it is an aggregate variable, so I need aggregate at the top as well, and it is there asking across country. So I can write down country, comma, sum of this. This whole variable will go at the top as total underscore revenue. And now I have to mention, do I have to mention group by? Yes or no?
Country, yes.
Yes.
What if I don't mention? What will happen?
It will error out because we need to give that output to the having part, and it will not have it if we
Country,
don't.
I'm not giving country as filter to having part.
No. I mean to say, if we if we keep group by as blank, that query will be half, and it won't
No,
produce.
let's say I remove this.
Okay.
Will country be required here or not?
Yes.
Yes, because there is a country in select.
Yes, exactly. That is if I am keeping a variable here, it needs to come here. Okay. Now simply run this. You will get the result.
We also don't need to write it as na. If we remove also, it will work, right?
Yeah, this is optional. I'm just keeping it like this is optional. It will just come as sum. But problem is that suppose you are doing two sums, sum of let's say sales, right? So both will come as sum of let's say some other variable, let's say. So it will also come as sum, right? So that's why it's better to write down as give it a name.
Okay.
Total underscore revenue. So guys, this was the class today. Let me know if you guys are able to understand now. If you guys follow this particular approach, right? I agree. When you look at me solving, things looks easy, but when you go to questions, things become difficult, right? Problem is, thing is that you need to follow a structured approach, and that structured approach I have told you today. Okay, so follow this. If you don't follow this approach, if you just blindly start coding, you will get stuck somewhere. Okay, so in this we did 5 questions. There are 5 more questions. These 2 are a little difficult. Just try to solve them. I will explain them in the doubt session on Thursday, but try to solve them on your own. Please make sure you follow the approach that I have told. Okay, after this, go to the practice website. There are 20 questions. You guys can solve the first 20 questions now. Okay, then the practice website, log in. There are total 20 questions. You will be able to solve these 20 questions because these are based on the topics that we have covered so far. So solve these as your assignment. You should be able to access from tomorrow this one. Okay, and solve the remaining. So your homework is these 5 questions for this week, these 5 questions and the 20 questions which are present on the website. Total 25 coding questions you have to do this week. Okay, you can submit by Friday, but you have to email me at end of Wednesday how much you have done. Even if you have done 3 questions, just email me that. I should know where you are standing. Okay,
Satvik, but I'm not able to access these questions even after the filling that form also.
You will be able to
showing
access
validation
from
error.
tomorrow. You will be able to access from tomorrow.
Okay.
Also, Satvik, like the assignment that we did from the last class, like if you want to discuss, like, and want
So
to
that
know,
we will
like,
discuss in the. If you guys submit me, if I get 15 assignments, 15 updates by end of Wednesday, then we are having a session on Thursday. Otherwise, we are not having a session. As simple as that. Okay.
how we'll get to know that it's
I will
correct
tell
or
you.
not?
Why will I lie?
Okay.
Okay.
No, as in how we'll get to know the assignment that we submitted is fine or not.
I just
That's
need submissions. See, I need submissions. That's it. That rest I will validate. I will see. We have a team who will validate whether you have submitted or not. Okay. What I need is hard work. I don't need whether you're able to solve or not. That is a separate thing. Okay. Whether your answer is incorrect, I don't care about that. I just need you to submit.
Okay.
Is it clear, everyone? So that's all for today's session. Please follow this architecture, right? Which I told. Try to follow that while solving the question. So you have 25 questions which you need to solve. Okay. I hope I was able to explain, but still, if you don't, please watch the recording once again. This is the architecture that you need to follow till we move to the next classes. Okay. So guys, thanks again. If someone has any doubt, you guys can stay on the call. Otherwise, please, you can drop off. Enjoy your remaining weekend.
Thank you, Satvik.
Yeah, please. Thank you.
Thanks. Bye.
Sure. Thanks. I will get to know if you just submit here. You don't worry about if I am getting to know or not. You just need to submit. That's it. You need to send an email that I have submitted. I will check it if you have claimed right or not. You don't need to worry about that. You just need to submit. That's it. I need at least 15 submissions by Wednesday. Otherwise, I'm not going to conduct. So you guys, I will update you on group whether some people have submitted or not. If you want, we can move the doubt session on Friday as well. But because we already have a session on Saturday morning, so let's have a session doubt session on Thursday only. Okay. Submit code. Yeah. Take your whatever your writings, put that in a Word document and send to me on the email. Yes, guys, you can. If anyone is having any doubt, you can stay. Otherwise, please drop off. Enjoy your. I know it's still 30 minutes left. Enjoy your weekend, and I hope you guys learned something new. And please.
Satvik, I have one question.
Yes.
So the code for table creation that you have had shared. So I just run that query in my SQL server, but it's throwing some error. I'm
Did
not
you
sure.
copy the whole code?
Yeah, I copied the whole code and tried to execute that, but it's giving me some
Do
error.
it step by step. Then open the PDF.
Okay.
First, just copy the first part, create table part. First, copy this part and paste it. Then copy
Okay.
from insert into commands. Copy from here to this 50th row. It will run.
Okay, so I need to copy step by step, then execute it.
You can copy all together as well, but copy step by step. Yes.
Okay. Okay, let me do that.
Step by step, I mean copy all these 50 together. Don't go one row by one. Just copy all this together, insert it and just paste it there.
Understood. Understood. Okay. And Satyam, one more thing. So like the I think this is what I already texted in the group. So the previous recording, I think I'm not able to access those
If you have
recordings.
filled the form, your correct email ID, you will get access. A lot of people have not even filled the form. They just how will I have simply created a code in the backend, right, which takes the file, which the moment I upload the session, it automatically gives access to those people. Now those people who have not filled the form, they will not get the access. That's the
Okay,
problem.
so-
Otherwise, so please fill the form that I shared. You will automatically get access.
Okay, so the link of that form is available in the group, right?
It is available in the group. Yes.
Okay. Okay, I will fill that.
Just check to the group section, check the link part. Okay, go to the group description, go to the link part. You will find SQL participant course like what there is a link, Google form. So just fill that form. Okay, because I have created simple in the backend. I've created a Python code which the moment I upload a video, it runs, takes that file, automatically give access to you guys. Okay, so those who have not filled the form, they will not get access. That's how it works.
Okay. Okay. Thanks, Satvik.
Okay. Okay, guys. So I think everyone is clear. So we can drop off now. Enjoy. Have a good day. And we will do submit the assignment by Thursday or Wednesday EOD. At least I'm not asking to submit everything. At least submit. Give me an update by end of Wednesday that what have you submitted or not. Okay. So thanks everyone. Have a good day.